because they told the Mughals in Nigeria they were going to crash dollars in Nigeria by making a deal with China so that they can have yuan in Naira. At the end of the day, at yuan, at dollar, at Naira, Nigerians ended up buying Naira with Naira under these criminals. That's how worse it became. Nigerians were using Naira to buy Naira in the same Buhari-nomic. So as usual, it was bragging in one of those brag. Anybody that doesn't agree with what we are doing, say you want to fight, come outside. Let us fight. Emefiole.
Those who feel they want to support him, to fight me, come out. Let's fight.
You remember that time? All of these things that I'm telling you, some of them may sound funny to you. I am telling you something that people were actually like dying. The amount of people who were committing suicide, the number of people who committed suicide under Buhari-nomics in 8 years because of the economic downturn under these criminals has never been seen before in the history of Nigeria. It became so much that Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos was a regular place. Every 2 days, and it's like every AK day. Somebody could don't jump inside the river. Grown-up men and women who have lost everything. Women who were doing fine before APC, Egbekegbe came in, doing their legitimate businesses. They shut the border. They shut their businesses. There were no real help for them. While Buhari and gang, they were making themselves comfortable with every available money and everything they could get at the time. So they were blaming everybody, but nobody was being kind of convicted for real. Suddenly, people will want fight corruption. They don't do dinner with the corrupt people. We then for once told us, so see corrupt people, see people who destroy Nigeria, see enemy of Nigeria. Suddenly, and then we they see for dinner, they laugh, they all of that. And they are ombudsman slaves, sophisticated morons on social media. Shame will not let them say, they don't do pause. Remember, Dasuki was in prison because Dasuki stole 2 billion. Now, fast forward to when a scandal actually broke out. What was the scandal? It was when the hands of this thief was caught in the cookie jar. All of his mouth were glossy of the cookie. The crumbs from, you know what I mean? Sahara reporters tapped this. It is also a reminder of what Emefiole was involved in sabotaging Nigeria with the approval of Buhari. It's still a flashback. We never get to today's story yet.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
The network, sir.
Yes. My God. Let me talk to Emefiole.
Hold on the line, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. So, can we think of anywhere across both heads where we can, push things, either move things from cash and CAD or some other places, bring it back, or you understand, or delay any of them?
I'm looking at it. The maximum that I can negotiate is 20 billion on CIA that I will just tell them that, because that is the one that we've not paid, that we've accrued for. So, because I've looked at with the account, that is the...
On the cash account due?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That is 18, because I say 18 for, then there's this 2 billion, which are not material for something to be done for EFCC, that I said they've taken it as a coup. So that's the maximum we can get from expenses.
Is there any other vote head where you can find?
See, I've gone through all the voters here. I know material, at least my personal expenses is just increased by 1 billion over last year, and I think we can't go into that place. My other operating.
Now, what's our shareholders fund?
It's 34.
Yeah?
34 billion. 34.
You can see it will take our shareholders something to negative. That's another problem. Wow. Hey.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
With the DG and KJ as well.
Yeah, let me talk to the DG. Yeah, let me talk to the DG.
Okay.
I didn't know they were there. Yes.
Yes. Hello, sir.
Sorry, Edward, I didn't know that you were there with 2KJ.
No, I'm there. We're here with you, Yes.
Man.
We are cracking our brains, governor. We were thinking of all available options.
Because shareholders funds of 34 billion, if we put this number there, to take our shareholders funds to negative, which is dangerous.
To negative? Yes. No. We can't do that one, governor. That would be dangerous.
What do we do?
God. The wild thought that came is that can we get the finance ministry to agree to take some off, even if it's just for the record?
How can they take it now? Take what now, precisely?
Even if it's just to do some book work.
But they cannot. That will expose us to them.
Because that's the only area. All these other areas.
Okay, what do we want finance to do in this case?
Well, the thought was that maybe if they can just we do some discussion with them, they just write saying that okay, government will, but it has to maybe appropriated or something. Some document that will show that.
They can't try that because without National Assembly and government, they have to go to Federal Executive Council to do that.
They have to go to Federal Executive Council.
Wow. Damn it.
Wow. Because, I don't know. I even said we should look at our intervention, but there's nothing much we can do there. They don't have an intervention. That will not work. I don't know.
Wow.
We can't afford negative at all.
Yeah?
We cannot afford deficit, governor. No way. We have to talk for balance.
How do we get out of this is the issue? Because the auditors themselves will be very careful because, they don't want because they have people who are reviewing their accounts. They are superiors outside the office reviewing their accounts.
Exactly. They also, they have their names and their own governance process. Might not allow them to even do some of these things. Wow. Tough one. Hold on for OKJ.
Yeah.
Yes. We are thinking of all the actions. I think because the Omo aspect, which is the bulk, of the stock. Yes, because the money has been paid and banks have recognized that amount in their income. Yeah. And naturally, the auditors will also ask for confirmation to confirm this one. And because earlier I thought we had about 150 billion, which was what was paid in December. Then the initial thought was to look at which were the heavy banks that bought into that. But maybe pick them, but we also realized that they also have their end of year at December. So they will have recognized that. And I was just asking Mr. Arosheja about our exchange rate gain. The rate they use for this year, they said it's already 364, which is already very high.
Yes.
Because if not, if it were to be some lower, we have thought we have increased that close of maybe by just 1 Naira or 2 Naira, that will change the whole thing.
Because the first time in history, Paris ATM balance sheet in negative shareholder funds. That's bad.
No. We thought about that because we were looking at how much the revenue is. Because the issue will be that we made so much revenue of social amount and we spend the whole thing. So where did we get the money that we were spending if we make? No, we have to. We go through it and see how to. Not going to work. Not at this time. Not. We keep cracking our braces. No. We we are still looking at now. So far, we will only be able to see to about 20 billion, which is this kind. Which he said he still has to discuss with the. So after 20 billion, how much will be left? It's up to 100, 120, 110, 110. That is still a lot, because this means we need at least a minimum of 115 or 112 for it to move from negative to surplus.
God.
Yeah. Because let's still brainstorm that now. We'll get back to you.
Okay.
You heard all of that, Abi? Yeah, that was a scandal that they came out later to say, of course, they were just discussing how to balance the sheet, how to balance account. That is not a new thing. But 120 billion naira is missing, and they were looking for ways to get that, like a closing. Should they increase the naira exchange rate by 1 naira or 2 naira? If they do that, that will automatically give them what they need. But that's going to be a bad news, because the money exchange was already over. Was almost 400 naira at the time. At the official rate, not black market. Imagine what it was in the black market at the time when they were having this chart in 2018 or so. So that Emefiole, that everybody have seen that as Buhari's ATM, suddenly just surprised all of us. Wait, they say Emefiole want to be president. That must be a joke. No, that can never happen. What do you mean? Central Bank Governor of Nigeria paid 100 million naira to buy APC presidential form. It is over. How many of you remember that time when we were always like, it's finished? Central Bank Governor, where you have the president, and he gave APC 100 million naira. They collected the money. They gave him form. They were started now denying whether he was the one who bought it or whether now people buy him for him. 100 million naira. And Buhari didn't call him immediately. I said, you the craze? You the mental? Which kind of freedom be this? Which kind of audacity be this? You won't spoil my arrangini. They allowed him until this lady told us he has the right to be the president because he's a Nigerian and he's blah, 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 blah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Benigna Ejimba, the Director of Communications, Emefiele Support Group, ESG. We noticed the statement issued by the PDP governors calling on Dr. Godwin Emefiele to resign following the fear of his entry into the presidential race. The statement alleges that Dr. Emefiele is involved in the campaigns for his presidency and is doing so with the national vote. We in the ESG would like to ask the PDP governors to get their facts right and should stop crying like babies even when Emefiele has not accepted the pressure to run. Campaigns calling on Dr. Emefiele has nothing to do with the CBN governor or the CBN funds. These are merely voluntary groups like us that have no connection with the CBN governor. We know that the governors are already scared that Dr. Emefiele will give them a good run for their money if he decides to heed our call and contest, which is why they have switched into panic mode and are looking for a way to scare him from joining the race. They should, however, know that we have their dossier. We know what they do with their local governments and state allocations. We know what they do with monies meant for small-scale businesses in their states. It is quite sad that the CBN governor, who has shown nothing but goodwill by initiating and advancing bailout funds to help them pay salaries and improve productivity where they have failed to do so, is now a subject of their smear attacks just to discourage him from entering the race. They have been having sleepless nights since they heard of our clamor for Dr. Emefiele to join the race. Emefiele expectedly has now become a political nightmare to PDP, even when he's not yet in the race. Knowing the capacity of the CBN governor, being the party to have discovered him, they should then be ready for a humiliating defeat should he decide to run for presidency. Thank you.
Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so Nigeria is so corrupt, which I regret the day I was born in this country. It's unfair. This is unfair now. This is unfair. Nigeria is so.
Did you hear that? That happened. It happened. And everybody was just looking like, oh, more Nigeria don't finish. Nigeria to finish. I know some of you actually felt like that when you saw the breaking news. Because that's how I felt. I was like, oh, more Nigeria to finish. Nothing is normal anymore. Sure you get. And then they decided to punish the entire Nigeria. How many of you remember that Ekpadabo Abija? Ekpadabo Abija was something to say the return of Abija. You get that? They decided to throw the entire Nigeria under the bus by recoloring the Naira. Really? Recoloring the Naira. Yes, we want to battle those who want to use money to buy election. And so then carry the entire Nigeria mugu. Millions of people's lives. Were also destroyed. So many of them have not recovered till now. So, when they decided to recolor the Naira, it was Buhari who said, it is a done deal, if you all remember, just before the election, because everything Emefiole did, Buhari approved.
So this change of currency, I think there will be people a lot of money. But time has been given from October to December, 3 months is enough, whatever money you have, to get it changed through a legal system. So I don't know why people are complaining about it.
So despite the complaint, there's no going back on the policy?
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. My aim is to make sure that Nigerians believe that we respect them as an administration.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian. It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
To show to Nigerians that they respect them, no going back. We don't want people to use money to buy election. We don't want money, blah, 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 the nonsense. That was when the Wahala became APC versus APC. That was when Tifnumbu and his group, they took it personal. Just the same way Buhari took the coup of 1985 very personal. Because the person that led the people who arrested him and the one who was like in charge of his detention was no other person than Sambo Dasuki. So it was personal for him. But you see, last few months, when Kalu came out and he said, Eba gbe pamo, Eba gbe Naira pamo, ama dibo, ama wole. That was when it became personal. Emefiole, they automatically agreed or concluded Emefiole is being used by Buhari or Buhari's cabal to stop Tifnumbu from winning election. In fact, that is why there is a fuel scarcity, Naira scarcity, and it became a campaign. Yes, it must be like they did it for him. They must have done it. They must have, but why they are all arguing, whether the whole thing is against Tifnumbu or not, businesses of people, they were crumbling like cards. Some of them are watching me today. No be so. This time last year, they had businesses. No be so they didn't get too much big, but they had businesses. But you see, between September and March, September 2022, March 2022, with Emefiole and Buhari, they destroyed so many people's businesses and lives. And I can tell you this, if we stay longer this evening, you go hear people who go come tell you the testimony, how that thing affected them until today. We saw elderly people crying in the bank. They said they have to endure. They needed to endure because Buhari was fighting for them. Listen to it again. because it was actually part of the clip. Again.
So this change of currency, I think there will be people a lot of money. But time has been given from October to December, 3 months. Is enough, whatever money you have, to get it changed through a legal system. So I don't know why people are complaining about it.
So despite the complaint, there's no going back on the policy?
No, there's no going back. There's no going back. My aim is to make sure that Nigerians believe that we respect them as an administration. So Nigerians should vote for whoever they like from whichever party. Nobody will be allowed to mobilize resources and thugs to intimidate people in any constituency. That's what I want to go down into Nigerian history for as a leader.
You are the chairman of the Presidential Campaign Council of your party. What are the chances of your party winning the elections?
What are the chances of my party not winning the election? We are going to win this election.
Disable, Akishete, Atisete, Atin Parotipe, Atisete, Tito, Dimo, Dodo, Simo, Atisete, Odisete, Kagwa de Falare, Atisete, Kagwe de Falare, Atisete, Adajo, Paro, Tori Owo, Atisete, Atisete, Odilu, Paron, Tori Bo, Atisete, Atisete, Odo, Minster, Atisete, Atisete, Etisete, Atisete, Tiangara, Atisete.
So that was one of the bobo that encouraged the obedient in particular, believing that Buhari and Emefiole could probably be on their side for the first time. How many of you felt like that? Don't lie. Some of you even said, the Naira exchange, Naira change, no going back. You stand by Buhari on this and Emefiole because you thought they were targeting those who were going to use thugs and money. What later happened? They ended up still using thugs and money and INEC. That video, if you go and check it online, go and check the Buhari's interview, December 2022. It was in London, in that video. Go and it will be one of the most viewed video of this election. Their charade that they completed. Because we were like, yes, it's like Buhari. Because politicians were complaining. His own party members, governors, they were lamenting. This thing is going to affect us. Oh, we are going to lose election. Oh, they took him to court. So a lot of people felt like, maybe Buhari wanted to leave a legacy. You remember that? I'm so sorry that a lot of you actually felt duped. Okay. But you know better now, Abi. Shebi, you know better now. I still know some of you. There will be some of you who will still believe that Buhari meant well. He wanted to do good. But they override him. I know some of you who believe that. Because you couldn't believe what happened in that charade. After you have followed it so much, and suddenly you could see the politicians crying every day. Or even go fall, while I go day, blah, 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 blah. And Buhari was taking a stand. We no going back. I say, maybe Buhari won't do something good. Osita, they yeah. Sorry that I call you out to share you guys, because I remember you personally told us here that even though you don't trust them, but you would like to give them a benefit of doubt. That just maybe Buhari actually meant well this time around. I said, do you actually believe that? And you said, yes, you did. But look at it today. I'm talking about this mad period, though, where things were happening so fast. I was like, don't get carried away. These people. Obviously, I knew what would happen, though. Sure you get. Oh, sorry. Obviously, I knew how things go happen, though. But I knew what would happen, if you remember, right? Now, today, when that now got to the edge, they now said the Supreme Court call, they will now listen to Supreme Court. Around that time, there were already rumors that Tifnumbu and crew, who have already infiltrated, bought whoever was buyable around Buhari and then everywhere. He don't do that. The DSS was already kind of listening to him indirectly, because somehow, the DSS in Nigeria, the Secret Service, that is working for Buhari, suddenly declared Central Bank Governor of Nigeria wanted. Abeti Bagbe, you don't forget that DSS declared Emefiole wanted. Have you forgotten that Emefiole went for a bankers seminar abroad and in America, and they failed to return to Nigeria because they said the DSS was looking for him until they told him he could return. Buhari will not let them arrest him. And immediately, Emefiole landed in Nigeria. You remember that video? And those who came to pick him at the airport in order for DSS not to arrest him. Remember? So now then they tell us, say, Oma Shewon, now you, that was the beginning. That was when they took it personal. Now, let's now fast forward to when Emefiole was called. This time around, they are now going back. A flashback.
The truth is this, we are all servants. We are serving Nigerians. As far as I'm concerned, the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation has spoken on this matter, and the President has sealed the whole of the issues this morning in his broadcast. And I think I can only just appeal to Nigerians, let's allow this policy to work. This policy is one policy that goes to solve the problem of reducing corruption and illicit financial flows. This policy goes to resolve some of the problems in the economy. This policy also goes to reducing the level of insecurity in the country. So these three issues, which are the tripod of this administration's policy, are all embedded in this policy. We should just allow it to work. We keep saying this. There are some temporary pains, but I can assure Nigerians that the long-run benefit to Nigeria is overwhelming, and we should just give it a chance to work.
Wish. You get wish. You get wish. Wish that is blood body. You get wish.
Yes.
Because witchcraft join this your own. I'm not sure say we'll go do deliverance for you. You get wish.
That was the sale line. Nigerians should just let this policy work. So Nigerians started saying, Emefiele, Emefiele, Ogungo kill you, Emefiele, and all of that. Because even after election, new Naira, no day. When Emefiele was still telling them, they just need to make this thing work. This guy stole money. They wanted to steal money from dead people. Dormant accounts. If you left Nigeria and you left money in your Naira account, by now you have zero there. I don't care how much you left. Well, maybe you're a millionaire and you left a lot of money. Yeah? And if that account, you left it for about 5-6 years, they believe that you are dead. So they call your account dormant. When they check, they said there is this sitting 7 trillion Naira in Nigerian dormant accounts. It may be that your money you left 10 years ago. You better go and check. First bank account, Go and check. Emefiole and gang, they started selling fake bonds to take money from people and say government will give you more money in so years. We need the money. They scraped everywhere. But they were telling people, say that one no be winch. You know be winch. Now tell somebody, tell one Lagos Abobaku beside you that you are not going to fall for all of this propaganda. You have seen it before. At the end of the old drama, it was all a charm. Exactly the same thing they are planning to do with Emefiele. Now let's move forward, because at this point, it be like say sometimes once in a while, twice, Connie, twice. A broken clock can be very correct. In this case, when you call people thief, it's not like Boko Haram. It's not like a Tifnumbu. Others pretty much take it personal. Orji Uzor Kalu was crying today. I'm going to show you that at some point. However, I think we should remain in that asshole rock. Because you know what happened? After the whole thing, Emefiole returned to Nigeria, like I said. After returning to Nigeria, he received protection under Buhari. Tifnubu and gang, they played along like, don't worry, we are friends and all of that. Then the reports came. Remember that Emefiole requested to go on study leave. And Buhari has given him approval that he could go. But somehow, Tifnubu and gang, they made him comfortable. When they were negotiating with NLC because of subsidy removal, they invited him there. When they are meeting with the oil marketers, they invited him there. They made him believe that he's part of the team, like he's part of the men. I mean, the people they want. I mean, who came for the menu? He didn't know that he is the menu. So since they can't touch those who publicly stole, like you know, Emefiole is now going to be the Pandora box, and just like Dasuki Gates, you will begin to hear those they will use as your distraction. Those who collected money, they are already saying that Emefiele or Emefiole, they said he currently has over 80 trillion naira. Remember that this is the stock trade of APC. Egbekegbe o si Alhaji Emefiole. Now, private jets, they take arrest Emefiole. And that was last night. So, you know what the Daura Secret Service said, or Dr. Most Stupid Service said? They said Emefiole was driving himself all over Lagos to avoid arrest. Like, he didn't stay in one place. He was in a car, and he was driving and driving and driving and driving. And they believe that Emefiole was planning to drive himself and escape from Nigeria. You are going to hear more ridiculous stories. Oh. You are going to see pictures where they will say Emefiole bought houses here, he bought houses there, he has 100 billion naira, $100 billion. All of those are just going to give you the vibe of Dasuki Gate 2. So you can call this one Emefiole Gate 2 or Dasuki Gate Part 2. But episode Emefiole and the other thieves. You know what? When they now arrested him, you know what they said? The DSS arrested Emefiole for terrorism. Should be money is what we have been talking about since for over 1 hour. I've been talking about money they've stolen and mismanaged and all of that. Abi? DSS arrested Emefiole for treason, that he deliberately sabotaged Nigeria economy. And that is why you all lost your jobs. 143 million of you fell into poverty. Terrorists took over Nigeria. It was because of Emefiole. They said when Emefiole decided to contest for president, when he failed, he decided to destroy Nigeria. According to them, they said Emefiole started using the rest of the money he wanted to use for election. He gave the money to IPOB. Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, or should I say Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya as far back as July 1st. If you remember, this was May 2021. Yeah? Emefiole said he wanted to be president of Nigeria sometimes in November 2022. But the Aura Secret Service, they said Emefiole was using the money he wanted to use for his presidential ambition, is using the money to sponsor unknown gunmen and IPOB. As a flashback, when they kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya to celebrate the trophy, Malamu, the Attorney General of Nigeria then, had to broadcast or make the announcement in Hausa, not in Igbo, not in Yoruba, not even in English that all of you will understand, but in Hausa, which means we got there. At the time, a flashback.
Zargin da ake masa kamar da aka mata a sama. Ina mai sanar da ku cewa bayan ainihin ya tsallake beli ya ci gaba da ɗaukan matakai na ainihin tunzura al'umma domin su wa ƙasa zagon ƙasa ta hanyar amfani da kafofi na yada labarai da suka hada da talabijin, rediyo da kuma amfani da yana gizo akan wannan domin ganin cewa ainihin an tada zaune tsaye a Najeriya. Kamar da kuka sani, bayan ya tsallake wannan beli har ila yau ya ɗauki matakai na ainihin harzuka al'umma musamman a ɓangare kudu maso gabashin Najeriya, wanda a sanadiyar haka an samu hasarar rayuka, dukiyoyi, rayukan al'umma farar hula, rayukan al'umma da suka hada da sojoji da abubuwan da ke da ayyuka da ke da nasaba ga aikin kaki, haɗi da hasarar rayukan ainihin jami'an tsaro da kuma ainihin hallaka dukiyoyi da kuma ainihin wuraren ayyuka.
When they were using Emefiole to loot Nigeria, they probably didn't see him as Igbo then. They didn't call him as an Igbo man. They didn't say he's an Igbo man, even though he's not Igbo, by the way. But anyway, he wasn't seen as one. He had no connection with Igbo land. None of the money that they were all stealing and looting could be said to have been used in any part of Igbo land or anybody from Igbo land benefiting from that. But when they wanted to scapegoat him, to take the fall, to make it sound better, they said Emefiole has been using central bank money to fund unknown gunmen. Remember when they said, good luck Egbere Jolantan? I mean, it wasn't like they, it was El Rufaya who said the terrorism in northern Nigeria was actually sponsored by Jonathan in order to reduce their population in the north. Yes, he said that. When Dasuki was arrested, as much as they are attacking Jonathan, attacking everybody, and Dasuki was in detention, the likes of the rest of them, they continued to kind of shield him. It was more or less like Jonathan's government was actually funding terrorism against them. No be so. So same thing you're going to hear in the next few days. Stories upon stories, a lot of things. And all of these are just to make you think Tifnubu is doing something so new. Others are already, if you don't know this, so they have already paid influencers, by the way. And you are going to begin to see on social media posts that will be praising Tifnubu. Tifnubu, me, if I don't like Tifnubu before, The arrest of this Emefiole just make me believe that it's come with action. They said the same thing when Dasuki was arrested, remember? Because Emefiole is going to be the key into how Buhari himself should end up in jail. Isn't that a tall dream? Because a lot of you are still living in denial, Abi. Don't worry. So, going forward, they are now, they are already people from Agbo. They said this thing is tribal. The arrest of Emefiole is tribal. It's a tribal attack. It's an ethnic profiling that they are targeting the people of Agbo and the people of Delta. Meanwhile, Emefiole probably didn't give a damn or a toss about the lives of those who are in Delta states, who became victims of the same Buhari-nomics until now. And I told you, that's when they play the tribal card now. What about Buhari? What about other people? Why are you not arresting them? Why are you arresting our own? We know that he did something bad. That's why I said Nigeria will never work. And there's always going to be that state of your life where you're going to be like, well, it's true now. Are you going, it's true now? Is the Fulani now? This Fulani, this and that. They have you. Some of you don't know that they actually have a control over you. The moment you begin to look at all of this from your tribal, ethnic lenses, trust me, they have you. These are a bunch of criminals showing drama. It is the turn of Emefiole. Let them deal with themselves. Don't turn around and begin to say, it's not because I support Emefiole, but why are they doing that? Hide your bias a little bit, because I know how it works. Some of you are pretty much like, yes, he deserves whatever comes to him, but if they are not going to arrest other people too, then it's just pure attack on the Igbos, attack on the Southerners, attack on the Christian, attack on this and that. They have you. You can begin to say it's an attack on your whatever you want to associate with, but the bottom line is this: at Emefiole, at Tifnumbu, at the rest of them, except they destroy themselves, a lot of you will do everything to save them based on whatever connection you have with them. I'm not judging you. I just feel like you shouldn't continue to hide that bias when it's so open that you all will love your criminals differently. At least no be your man, no be the first criminal. I be him be the first. She na him be the only criminal. How come now only him? Why they no pick another person? My ego, I know what I'm saying. My ego, you don't get what I'm saying. I get you, Baba. I said it is a very simple definition. Nigerians love their criminals differently. When somebody begin to say, even though I don't support them, even though I don't support this person, but I just thought that, don't hide it. Own it, because they own you. Now, going forward, right? 2 rogues from Kalu. Are you with me? 2 rogues. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can say Fulani are targeting Igbo. Of course, that's a statement of facts. But when you say that because of Emefiole, you are hiding your own deceit. Emefiole is not an example of you to say Fulanis or Northerners are targeting Southerners. Don't ever do that. A lot of you do that easily, and you probably don't even see it as an endorsement of their crime. Yes, wherever their policies and economy and everything affects the ordinary people, yes, you can talk about targeting. We have evidence of that. Igbos profiling in Nigeria is an unwritten edict or unwritten decree in Nigeria. It's not hidden. But when you look at that profiling, those who are profiling the Igbos and those who are enabling the profiling of Igbos in Nigeria, you will see the Igbos among them. So if one of those criminals now fall out of favor with all their criminal gang from Yoruba land, from the southwest, from northern Nigeria, why would you now say they are targeting Igbos because of those the criminals? Why would you say that? How could you try to give that privilege to that criminal simply because criminals are dealing with them? I'm just saying, but some of you don't see it as you don't see it like that, which is fine. Do you get that now? You don't give excuses for these criminals and say because the Yoruba criminals are targeting the Igbo criminals, or targeting the Ijo criminals, or Ijo criminals are targeting Fulani criminals, or Hausa criminals, they are targeting the other criminals from other places, and then you suddenly feel like it's not because I support them. Oh. I don't support them. But we all know that if he is a northerner now, they will not do this to him. Why are you feeling sorry for them? I'm not feeling sorry for them, Mayegun. I'm just trying to say, Eko Shidanu. Stop pretending. You don't get it. You love your criminals differently. It is the same thing with others too when they say, but it's not that bad now, Mayegun. Because if it is not affecting them, probably it is not happening. There are Nigerians like that, a lot of you like that, who are like, if that thing is not happening to me, I see they feed my family, I thank God, though, I've never owed any school fees, so God has been blessing my family. We have no problem, no matter how bad Nigeria gets, me and my family will never beg in Jesus' name. Because it's not happening to you. Then maybe it's not that bad. Okay, maybe people are not that poor. At least if people are poor, you will know now. Shebi, you will know. At least yourself, you are helping poor people around you, and it is normal. It's almost the same thing. You have all these criminals everywhere. There are many of your elites who are part of this gang called establishment. They are the criminals running the system. And you know why they have succeeded and survived this long? Because Nigeria is a crime scene that indeed protects criminals. When they are ready to to sacrifice any of them, don't jump there and start saying, why is it that it's only the Yorubas? Why is it that it's only the, why is it that, come on. Anyway, like I said, I just thought I should say that because we have these two criminals from Kano. One of them is called Kwakwanso. Are you with me? Kwakwanso and Gandola, the Babariga mobile banking CEO. Now, Kwakwanso and his gang, they have done shege in the last 2 weeks. So Gandola and his political